It's time for the One Bar and Lupaga Show, bringing you anything and everything Minnesota Vikings.
Welcome to professional football.
All right, welcome back to another episode of the One Bar and Lupagus Show. I am One Bar with Lupagus, and I'm still disgusted. I don't know about you.
I kind of feel the way I feel with the last couple of championship games. If I think about them, I get really pissed off. And I think about the loss last night, I get pissed off. But I've chosen not to think about it.
Wow, you are a much better human than me. I can't stop thinking about it, but it is what it is. And there's always lessons learned. And we got 5 lessons learned from that game last night. Before we get into that, remember, subscribe to the channel, like the videos. All right, let's do this. 5 lessons learned. One thing was very clear. The Vikings...
These aren't always like bad things. Sometimes we learn good things about the team, even in a heartbreaking loss like yesterday.
Yeah. There's a few silver linings here. But one thing was clear: the Vikings appeared to have pulled out their big old balls and show a little spunk.
Yeah, and maybe some of this comes when you're 1-3 on the road against an undefeated football team. You take some more chances, but they converted 2 4th-down conversions. They, instead of kicking the field goal, they went for it there to win the game, and they also went for 2 a couple times. So, again, is this Mike Zimmer's new mentality to be aggressive, or is this the result of them being a losing football team right now and needing some kind of spark?
Yeah, that not only the first down or the 4th down plays, but they seem to be a little more creative over the last week or two, getting a little more aggressive. So, yeah, maybe it's just desperation, but it worked out well until the last one.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, I mean, he took out those big old balls, and it just didn't pay off this time.
Didn't. All right.
Pull down his pants.
Second lesson we learned, and this isn't just the Kool-Aid talking. If they pull it all together, the Vikings can beat anybody.
Well, they can. You look at this team where the first 2 weeks of the season, it was a completely different team. Couldn't move the ball, couldn't stop anybody, couldn't stop the run, couldn't cover anybody. And now they're light years ahead of where they were. And I think that goes with the maturation of some of these young cornerbacks and actually just some of the young players in general. They went toe-to-toe with the Titans, probably should have won that game. Went toe-to-toe with the Seahawks, definitely should have won that game. But again, a young team, they struggle to find ways to win, ways to close out opponents, ways to give them that star punch when they're on the ropes. But hopefully that comes here soon.
Yeah, they're 1-4. They could easily be 3-2. Yeah, I mean, you pretty much said it all. We have a good team. It's just we have not put it all together in one game. So 1-4. One of those big reasons that we haven't pulled it all together is our number 3 lesson learned. Ezra Cleveland, maybe it's just time he needs to get on the field, because that right guard situation is so beyond bad. It is devastating to this offense.
Well, it's embarrassing. I mean, not only seeing how bad he's getting destroyed, but the penalties he's making. And we had 3 last night they were all drive killers. They set you back. Maybe you pick up 8 yards initially, 10-yard holding penalty, then you're 2nd and 20. This offense cannot work from 2nd and 20. It just doesn't happen. Drew Samia is just such a liability right now. I don't care if it's Ezra Cleveland. I don't care if it's Oli Udoh. I would even try Kyle Hinton. I'd put James Lynch there. I don't give a shit. He has to go. And Pat Elflein, I thought he was only gone for 3 weeks. I haven't heard anything about him lately. Put a big old cast on that thumb. I don't give a shit. Get him back out there too.
Pull a Ronnie Lott, cut his finger off, whatever he did, throw him back out there. Yeah, whoever it is. I mean, right now on the depth chart, the only guard listed behind these 2 is Ezra Cleveland. I don't like the thought of throwing him out there just because I think he's going to be a tackle, but at this point, why not? It can't be any worse.
It can't. Well, that's what we said about Pat Elflein, but
yeah, but this is a whole nother level.
Well, if we're taking our big old balls, swinging them around, you might as well try it at the guard position, even if it's a slight risk. Go with the rookie. Hey, look you got James Lynch showing up last night. You got DJ Wanham flashing. You got Cameron Dancer, Jeff Gladney, Justin Jefferson. Your rookie class is producing. No reason to think Ezra Cleveland won't be in that same group, able to step in and help this team out.
Yeah, I got to be honest. I will be very, very surprised and mildly disgusted if Drew Samia is back out there next week. I can't see how they can trot him back out there. Can't see how it's possible.
Yeah. Even the announcers were last night were feeling bad picking on him, but they had to. I mean, he's that bad. He's just it's unbelievable.
All right. Number 4, Alexander Madison. Obviously we would love to have Dalvin Cook out there when we can, but if not, it appears he might be capable of carrying that big old load.
Yeah, he was running like his balls were on fire last night, he was finding the holes early. He didn't find the hole late, but first contact never brings this guy down. He's always driving those legs. He can catch the ball. And what surprises me every time I watch this kid carry the ball is his burst. He's fast. He hits that hole, and it's almost like Dalvin Cook light there, way he can turn on those jets. And I love Alexander Madison. I think, like you said, he could definitely carry the load if this Cook groin injury turns out to be a lengthy injury for him.
Could be the Madison and Boone show. Yeah, before last night, the most carries Madison had in the game was 14. The most yards he had were 63. He blew those away last night. 20 carries, 112 yards, 3 receptions, 24 yards. He was doing it all. And yes, it would have been real nice if he would have kicked outside on that run, but he still had a fantastic, fantastic game. He would be starting for a handful of teams if he wasn't on the Vikings. He's that good.
He is. And I'm, much as that would suck not to have Dalvin Cook, I'm interested to see what Alexander Madison could do as a starter.
Well, you got one hell of a glimpse last night. Final, and this is just an easy one, but our record might not show it, but believe it or not, this team is actually getting better in all facets of the game.
Yeah, it is. And we've seen it. And I think the major one is just the secondary. The cornerbacks are playing very, very well. I mean, they're getting better. Dantzler kind of had a turd of a game last night. I thought he struggled. Did you see the clip on Twitter where Harrison Smith, you could read his lips. He said, "Cam, cover your guy."
Meant it. That's what he's a leader. That's what he's supposed to be saying to those guys.
But Jeff Gladney, I mean, he's been great. Dantzler, I think, he's had his struggles, but he missed that time. I think that kind of set him back a little bit. But you see Wanham stepping up, James Lynch. And then on offense, the line other than Drew Samia has been playing much better. Garrett Bradbury's taking some major steps forward. You see things starting to click the way Gary Kubiak's calling plays, utilizing more of these weapons. The Vikings, these numbers they put up in some of these losses are, you look at them and you think, how the hell can they lose these games? But you have a receiver go for 175, your running back goes over 180 and you still lose. I think the time possession last night was like so heavily skewed toward the Vikings that usually teams, I think the Vikings are the first team to ever lose with that big of a lopsided margin in the time of possession. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's something like that. So you see it. This can be a good team if they can just put it all together. And, I think that was one of the fears going into the season, that this young group might take some time to gel. And the worry was that would it be too late by the time they get there? And we're seeing some of that.
Yeah, I mean, we're 1-4. Odds are against us of really doing anything or making any noise. But as long as they continue to get better, as long as the season goes, we see some glimpses of what might happen in the future, I'll be fine with that. But the secondary, like you said, Eric Wilson is starting to step it up. Every position it seemed to have gotten better except for one specific one that we already talked about. So there's signs of hope for 2021.
Well, and we're 1-4, but you got to remember, I mean, we got Falcons coming up this weekend, which is a very winnable game. Then it's the Packers, I believe, and you got the Bears and Lions. So if you win 3 of 4, I mean, you're sitting 4-5, and I mean, we're not dead yet, but it ain't great.
We're not dead. I think I read there's been 7 teams that have started out 1-4 and have made the playoffs. So there's the odds are against us, but you never know. Stranger things have happened.
You're right. So those are the 5 lessons learned. Do you feel smarter after this discussion we just have?
Yeah, I do. And it's because of you, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
Wow, that's great. That means the world to me. All right, well, we'll be back with our usual week of delicious Vikings goodness. Be sure to check on Wednesday or Thursday morning when we skull with the enemy. We'll be talking to somebody from Falcons land, and it's pretty bleak over there. So if you think things are dark here, there's a big old cloud floating over Atlanta right now.
Shit cloud.
I don't feel bad for him one bit. I don't feel bad about this either. Fidel Castro, remember him?
Yes.
He slept with over 35,000 women.
That doesn't sound real.